the county and the state and the U.S. and then the whole world, right? It eventually gets there. That's a habit routine. And then I read before I go to bed. And I noticed last night so I hold my Kindle like this when I'm reading, and I had fallen asleep and dropped my Kindle, but I still had my hand up and my glasses on, like I was in my habit to read. Maybe I could definitely add something that's 2 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. But thank you for bringing it up and at least letting us dig in a little bit about what it's going to take to actually put a new habit in place, especially if it's something you're already resisting or already procrastinating. Like for me, I hit a wall with writing my book. So I said, well, I need to put a habit in of writing 1 page a day. Just 1 page. I could do 1 page in 2 minutes. Well, I haven't done it. I keep putting it in and I haven't done it. So today's my day to look at where am I going to habit stack and put that in where it's so count onable so that in 2 weeks I'll tell you that I've written every day. All right, the next slide. The third law, make it easy. Walk slowly, never backward. Motion makes you feel like you're getting things done. In reality, you're getting ready to get things done. I think this speaks to people, especially people who are in sales will relate to this in a very big way because making sales calls, especially cold calls, brings up a lot of resistance for people. And so what we'll do is we'll design our business card, we'll make our brochure, then we'll lay out what our website's going to look like, and we'll think about the colors, and we do all these things, but in reality, nothing's happening. No business is happening. Preparation can become its own kind of procrastination. We don't want to be merely planning. We want to be practicing. Now that I just generated this, it's so funny because I just realized, I've been planning to get back into my writing. I've been preparing to get back into my writing. And all of that has been a new sort of procrastination for me. I have just got to say when and where it's going to happen. So let's see. Tonight, no, I have clients tonight. All right, so tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on my new writing table, because yes, I did create something environmental. My new writing table is completely clear of anything else. I will write 1 page, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So there we go. Who wants to take this next slide?
I can't.
The slide's no longer showing on the screen, Thomas.
You don't see it? Oh. Because, there we go. Sorry about that. Can you see it now?
Yes. Thank you.
There's not a big hole in the middle?
No.
Oh, good.
A hole in the middle?
The law of least effort.
I'll read it. Jean.
Go ahead.
The law of least effort. Energy is precious, and the brain is wired to conserve wherever possible. It is human nature to follow the law of least effort. Every action requires energy, and the more energy it requires, the less likely you are to do it. The less energy required, the more likely you are to do it. It's critical to make your new habits so easy that you'll do them. It's kind of even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah, very good. That just made me bump into, Jean, the whole Google thing. Remember we talked about with my book, it's like ever since I moved it to Google, and it's so, in my occurring, so difficult, I realized as we were reading this, the energy to manage that damn thing on Google. And you and I talked about me moving it back to Evernote, which I've not done. So that's really the first thing to do.
Well, there was a part in the book in the last couple chapters that we read.
Yeah.
And I read through 16 because I thought that's what we were supposed to do. But
Yeah.
so I don't know if this is ahead of where this is. But I really liked where he said, for example, if you want to become a runner, just every day start putting on your shoes. Even if you don't actually run, you know, just to whatever the habit is. And I just really like that because I think it's just getting started. And I don't know if that's considered a cue or I forget what he called it, but
it's the 2-minute rule. The thing that, like, instead of bombarding yourself with the whole thing, just do 2 minutes of whatever it would be. So putting on the shoes, or you and I even talked about that. Put on your walking clothes, even if you don't go walk. You know, and that does turn into a cue. Very, very good. Yeah. So I'm changing my morning. So at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, I am moving my book from Google back to Evernote. That's where I'll start. And I can already feel like, oh my gosh, because when I was in Evernote, writing every day was simple because it was always with me. It was always easy access. I'm in Evernote anyway, whereas Google Pages or Google whatever the hell,
Google Docs, I'm never in there. In fact, I have to go there. And it is slow. Remember, Gene, we type things in there. It's like you got to wait 3 minutes for it to show up. Wow, it was crazy.
I didn't remember that part, but that's all right.
Oh, yeah. You and I talked about it. You said, what is it that it just stops?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes, it just stops. And there you are. You got thinking going on. You got things you can write, but you can't do anything. Anybody else? Does this impact anything that you're working on that you can see?
Maria.
Yeah, Maria.
So, my working in my computer. I have been preparing the office room, changing, redesign the whole office. So I'm halfway through, and it's looking better and better. But I have not sit down to work in my computer. And I had present for the whole week the 2-minute rule. And no, I did not want to take those 2 minutes to open my computer. So last night I was reading the chapters, and I realized that I cannot wait until I get away, until I get rid of Jeff's office desk that is huge and old and heavy. So I already have his family and they are going to take it, but I don't know when. So I said, I cannot wait to do for that. So anyways, I fixed another place in the room, another space, and it's clear. And I'm creating Wednesday right now with you guys, Wednesday and Friday, like today after this call, I'm going to have a good breakfast, and I'm going to put some music. I love smooth jazz music. So I'm going to put that music, and I'm going to put my computer on my desk, and I'm going to do something that I need to do.
Okay.
Soon. So I'm creating that for Wednesday morning and Fridays after having a good breakfast first and then listening to music at the same time.
Okay. So at the very least, you'll turn the computer on.
Yes.
Okay. All right. At the very least, turn it on. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there's a good breakfast.
I like that too, yeah.
And music. And flowers. All of that. Water. Yes.
Oh, but it's really great, right? You can hear she's designing her environment to call her into action. Yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. Next slide. Make it easy, somebody.
I can read.
Yeah, go ahead, Maria.
Make it easy. If you make your good habits more convenient, the more likely you are to go through with them.
Yes.
Sorry. The less friction you have, the easier it is for you. I'm sorry, I need my glasses.
Go ahead, get your glasses.
It might be my glasses and my English. Both. Okay, I'm going to read it again.
All right.
Make it easy. If you make your good habits more convenient, the more likely you are to go through with them. The less friction you face, the easier it is for your stronger self to emerge. The idea isn't to just do the easy things. The idea is to make it as easy as possible in the moment to do the things that pay off most in the long run. Rather than try to overcome friction in your life, reduce it. Environment is the best way to reduce friction. Too often, we try to start good habits in a high friction environment.
Ah, very good. Very good. That spoke to me also. Anybody else? Did you hear anything in there? Charlie, by the way, I've got... Yeah, go ahead, Barb.
Oh, go ahead, Thomas. You were going to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say, is Charlie, I have you muted in case you don't know. But go ahead, Barb.
Okay, the one thing I've been seeing at work the last couple of weeks is that we have a book for everything. We have a book to record keys when somebody takes them out. We have a book to record how many smoke detectors. We have a book to record utilities. Instead of everything going in tenant files, we have, I don't know how many books. And then we're constantly trying to find out where the books are. I said, why are we doing that? So what we did was we bought new tenant folders where there's more sections. And now we're going to put all of that stuff. We're going to make up new sheets of paper, and all of that stuff that we need is all going to be on one sheet in the tenant file. So when it gets recorded, it's in there, one place instead of 5 books.
Oh, gosh, that's great.
It makes me absolutely crazy. I said, why are we doing? And then we have to run through the book to see if we've replaced the smoke detectors in the last 5 years. And hopefully somebody's recorded it 5 years ago.
That's really great. So here's what I hear in what you're saying, Barb. Not only did you go to create less friction to get things managed, you developed a new system.
Yes, we did.
So the system made it easier to put things in place and to keep things going. That's great. Very, very good.
Well, the tenant files are so thick because we might have 3 or 4 tenants that have moved in and out. And I said, why are we keeping old tenants in the same folder? Why don't we move the tenants down to the bottom drawer and just keep the new tenants in that file?
Yeah.
That's what started us with all new files, because it's crazy making. Then if you have to look up something, you know where it's at. So we put in a lot of new systems in the last 2 weeks.
That's really great. And you made me just realize that me moving my book from Google Docs back to Evernote is a system. Evernote is a system. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anybody else? See anything? All right.
Can I add one thing, Thomas?
Please do.
What I saw in the morning, I have a very specific routine to get up and do the things I have to do and get out the door on time. If anything comes up that disrupts my neat little habits, I'm a little screaming mess and frenetic. And like, I didn't get gas the night before, so I have to allow enough time in the morning to get up and go get gas. And it just, I am just a beast. And I thought, you cannot mess up my routine or I am a brat.
Oh boy.
And
Oh boy.
and I thought, wow, am I a creature of, I want my routine and don't mess with me. I got it all lined out, how to get everything done and don't mess it up.
Yeah. 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 So I'm going to go through how to create a good habit. Number one law, make it obvious.
That's
So go ahead, Joanne.
that's not the screen you have up. Did you?
No, I know, because this is my last screen. So I want to do a recap of how to create a good habit, the 4 laws. First law is make it obvious. So what are some points about making it obvious? Anybody? We call it out. That's one thing. So like Maria called out what she's going to do after she has a nice, big, good breakfast. and then habit stacking. So my favorite one, because it's the one that has stuck the most, is doing my neck exercises that are habitually attached to brushing my teeth. That's been doing really well. And then parking my car and turning the parking lot into a clock, so I know right where I park my car. So the habit is, as soon as I turn the car off, which is a habit, right? You have a habit of turning it off. Attached to that is I just see a clock in my brain. And most of the time, listen, it hasn't gotten in completely yet. There was one slide we said, how long does it take to make a habit? And I love how he talks about that. You know, because there's so many things you read, 21 days or so much time. And he says there is no timeline. It's a matter of just doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And eventually that becomes a habit. So when I do the clock, every now and then I'll be on the phone and I get out of the car and I start walking in, and on occasion I've made it all the way to the door and realized, I didn't locate my car. And I make myself go all the way back to the car and start over so that this habit will get in. Because I'm really committed to it, you guys. I mean, I know it's not going to get any easier the older I get. If I'm losing my car now, I mean, shit. So I got to put that habit in really good. Okay, anything else on making it obvious? Designing your environment. Yeah, go ahead, Maria.
Oh, Maria, but I don't think it's my environment. It's about, because this is about feeling habit.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm going to share. So let's see. So first of all is to be aware of the current habit. So I noticed with this book and our conversations that I have a craving or habit of being anxious.
Oh.
So it's kind of, oh my goodness, I have an attachment to that. And so the first thing for me that I started working on, like make it obvious, I guess it goes here, is to acknowledge that I started feeling anxious, to be aware that I'm feeling anxious. Because my bad habit, I don't really acknowledge it most of the time. I just keep going, doing things.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm been practicing this couple of weeks to being aware of when I started, as soon as I started feeling anxious. So, and then, so I will, so in implementation intention, I will take a moment. I will sit down in a nice place, a nice room if I'm in the house, and I will, and right away if I can. And I will, okay, and then is the new habit. So I will, see, this is part of the new habit. And then I will do a little bit of, I will use pointing and calling out loud. Okay, I'm feeling the craving of feeling anxious. And I will also feeling and thinking, taking responsibility for creating this craving or this feeling. And I will, in the past, I just keep it to myself and I don't share with anyone. So I'm creating a new habit of calling someone and sharing what I'm feeling at the moment. So leaving the looking good out and just calling someone, a family or a friend, and sharing. And instead of that bad habit of wanting to run away and go someplace and do other things and distracting myself, it helps temporary, but not in the long term. So calling a friend or a family member, I will do that. And then I will take something from the book, that is to take also deep breaths, like breathing deeply, and smile and say to myself that I don't need this craving or this habit of anxiety. And what I noticed is that I created this. It seems like I created this craving of anxiety to feel safe some long time ago. Something happened and I didn't feel safe. So I don't need the anxiety or this feeling to feel safe because I'm okay, I'm safe, and I'll be okay, and I will be safe. So, and yeah,
So
that's it.
yeah. So I hear a couple of things that you wove through. So the first thing is you feel sometimes you have a habit of feeling anxious.
Yes.
So I would say to you, identify the cue.
Okay.
Something that shows up in my environment that tells me to be anxious.
Okay.
So there might be a cue.
Thank you.
And then you said, I will X when and where. And I think if I put this together correctly, what you're creating is breathing and smiling and reminding yourself that you are safe. That anxiety is not necessary. Yeah, that's good. And then if you call someone and tell them, that's great too. But I'm just trying to look at things that are going to be really easy. So really breathe and smile and remind myself I am safe. That's good.
Thank you.
The second law, make it attractive. Use temptation bundling. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. So I need a new Netflix series, somebody, because part of my temptation bundling is my whatever favorite series I'm watching, I can't watch it unless I'm on the elliptical. And it'd get me on that elliptical. But now I'm done. I finished my last one. And I tried to get in, people are doing the Game of Thrones and it's like got rave reviews. And I cannot, I've tried several times to get into that thing and it just doesn't capture me.
There's two series, Thomas. The Ozark series.
I love Ozark. Finish that one. Yeah.
And the Ted Bundy tapes. It's only 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating from 2 points of view. It's fascinating to revisit that time in history and see how things are. Like, girls disappeared and they could disappear in this county, There was no connection that, oh my gosh, 17 girls have disappeared because there was only one in this county and one in that. Or DNA, or why society thought the way it did, or how it could get away with things. I'm just finding it fascinating, even though it's a little heartbreaking to listen to as well.
Yeah.
but
join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. Create a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit. I haven't done that. That's something I'll play with this week. The third law, make it easy. Reduce friction. Decrease the number of steps between you and the good habit. Prime the environment. Prepare your environment to make future actions easier. Master the decisive moment. Optimize the small choices that deliver outsized impact. Well, I like that. Master the decisive moment. So those moments when you have the most power, the most motivation. Optimize the small choices that deliver bigger results. Use the 2-minute rule. Here's that 2-minute rule. Downscale your habits until they can be done in 2 minutes or less. And then lastly, automate your habits. Invest in technology and one-time purchases that lock in future behavior. So our next call will dig into making it satisfying. Between now and then, finish the book and determine at least one, you can have more, but determine at least one new habit that we will end the series with, so that everybody walks away with one new habit that you didn't already have. And we had talked last time about dismantling a habit.
the temptation habit.
By inverting, so, to break a bad habit, you invert the laws. Make it invisible. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult. So an example that we used was cakes, cookies, and ice cream. If they're in my house, I'm notorious for getting up in the middle of the night and going, listen, you guys, if it's in my freezer, I might go 2 or 3 trips. So I know that I cannot keep certain things in my house. So I make it difficult. I can have them if I'm willing to get up, put on my clothes, and go get them, but they're not going to be easy to get.
So you shared last time about the gummy bears, and I've been craving gummy bears the last 2 weeks. It's like, boy, those gummy bears really sound good, but I don't have any in the house.
They do make vegan ones. They're not called gummy bears. They're called something else, but they do make vegan ones.
Yep.
But they're still all sugar, and there's something fattening about that gelatin stuff. I don't know what it is.
So I was going to share with you, too, that there's something I've noticed, that there are certain times a day that I am more likely to get something done than other times a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A good thing to note. Like that you come alive after 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yep.
I know that I die down after 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yes.
So when I have evening clients, I've got to make sure there's a 30-minute window in there that I can just meditate, relax, and not have my mind on anything before I do my evening clients. Otherwise, I'm worthless.
Yeah.
Well, good work, everybody. Is there anything else anybody wants to put in before we go? You're going to finish the book, and we will dig into next time making it satisfying. We'll share whatever new habit we developed and any bad habits that we eliminated.
So I am going to declare taking on making it easy.
Ah, good. Yes.
I've been looking at doing it like a white knuckle ride. Like, I will get it done. Instead of like, wow, how can I make this fun and easy?
Yeah, good, Joanne.
Because, I like fun.
That's good. Perfect.
I have one thing.
Yeah, Maria.
Last call, Joanne was suggesting that we can declare who we want to be. And I want to be happy.
Our future identity. That was very good.
Yeah, right on. Very, very good. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
Thomas and everyone. Have a great day.
I'm going back to bed.
Ah,
Finishing
Don't
my
tell us
move.
that.
I'm going to have a good breakfast.
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe I'll make it part of a good breakfast before I forget it. Yeah. I like that.
Oh, that's funny.